Landslides are a catastrophic geological hazard that have wreaked havoc and devastation all over the world, often resulting in loss of lives and disruption of habitats, leading to losses of billions of dollars. Malaysia, a developing nation in the tropics, has seen firsthand the tragic destruction landslides can bring. In Malaysia, landslides are a frequent occurrence, despite the total area of its mountain and hill ranges forming less than 25% of Malaysia's overall terrain. Realizing a concerted and comprehensive approach needs to be undertaken to reduce the risk of disaster, Jabatan Mineral dan Geoscience Malaysia (JMG) has spearheaded the Penghasilan Peta Bahaya dan Risiko Cerun (Pbrc) project to effectively map slope hazard and risk areas in selected focus locations throughout the nation. Using cutting-edge technology and a transdisciplinary approach, Pbrc aims to enable sustainable overall land and slope management towards building resilient local communities in the face of landslide hazards.
From 1973 to 2018, around 400 landslides have occurred, causing more than 600 deaths and 3 billion ringgit in damages. And who can forget the Highland Towers incident, where 48 people perished? The usual causes of landslides in Malaysia are inclement weather and poor slope management. And if we don't learn from our past failures and faults, things are only bound to get worse.
As a means to mitigate environmental and socio-economic issues due to landslides, proper and effective planning, design, construction, and maintenance efforts are critical in ensuring safe and cost-effective hillside development.
We need to understand that Malaysia is a developing country located in tropical area. Rapid urbanization and extreme weather can only make Malaysia prone to natural geohazards such as landslide. We need to address this problem and identify an effective solutions.
Realizing this, Malaysia has played an active role in ensuring the success of the Sendai Framework for Disaster Risk Reduction 2015-2030, endorsed by the United Nations. This framework outlines 7 clear targets and 4 priorities in preventing new disaster risks while reducing existing ones. It is for this reason Jabatan Mineral dan Geoscience Malaysia (JMG), under the auspice of the Ministry of Water, Land and Natural Resources, has been tasked by the Prime Minister's Department in leading a national initiative formulated under the National Slope Master Plan (NSMP) 2009-2023 to reduce risk and build resilience in communities against disasters.
This is when the government initiated the Peta Bahaya dan Risiko Cerun or Pbrc project to map the slope hazard and risk effectively.
Pbrc is a pioneering nationwide project encompassing stakeholder engagement and a multidisciplinary approach to assess complex slope hazards and associated risks in Malaysia through the use of modern and advanced geospatial techniques. The main objective of the Pbrc project is to produce slope hazard and risk information in selected areas to assist and aid local authorities towards better slope management. Using the National Slope Master Plan as the basis for the critical focus areas, select locations are progressively identified, among others, Klang Valley in Selangor, Cameron Highlands in Pahang, Ipoh in Perak, and Kundasang in Sabah.
The Pbrc focus areas are selected based on their geohazard potential and their geoenvironment characteristics.
In making Pbrc more effective, one key element is the use of the multisensory light detection and ranging LiDAR technology.
LiDAR has basically allowed us to improve landslide inventory mapping, and this is very important for risk assessment.
LiDAR facilitates data that is rich in high-resolution terrain information and has allowed for landslide susceptibility, hazard, vulnerability, and risk analysis to be conducted and undertaken at a sub-meter level. The resulting risk analysis is highly accurate and reliable, thus permitting the identification of critical areas for geotechnical risk assessment and mitigation. The Pbrc framework is undertaken via a seamless integrated 5-phase workflow process. Phase 1, data collection, processing, and analysis, is where data is collected through multi-sensor active remote sensing, together with the compilation of archived historical data. Phase 2, landslide inventory mapping and LiDAR parameterization, deals with the development of landslide inventory and causal factor maps using field-verified data derived from LiDAR. Phase 3, landslide hazard and risk assessment, involves the analyses of susceptibility, hazard, elements at risk, vulnerability, and risk. Phase 4, landslide risk and geotechnical risk assessment, focuses on detailed analysis and assessment of landslide risks. Phase 5, development of the National Geospatial Terrain and Slope Information System, NATSIS. NATSIS is the first ever National Geospatial Terrain and Slope Information System and is the major outcome of the Pbrc project. NATSIS will be able to offer numerous datasets and outputs to be utilized by stakeholders from the federal, state, and local government agencies as well as the general public. NATSIS will act as an advanced decision-making support system via the integration of hardware, software, and data accessibility capabilities through desktop and mobile application. The application and impact of the Pbrc project is manifold and beneficial for socio-economic development purposes as well as various stakeholders.
Pbrc can allow us to indicate the severity of landslides and help us in identifying the probability of landslide occurrences.
Basically, Pbrc will produce 4 landslide thematic maps, namely the susceptibility map, hazard map, vulnerability map, as well as the risk map.
Stakeholders also should understand that while we do have the information from Pbrc, they can actually better prepare themselves by being aware of the early signs of potential landslide incidents.
These forewarning indicators of potential landslide occurrences include appearance of cracks on slopes as well as on the ground, on buildings and other structures, water seepages, damaged and blocked drains and blocked weep holes, movement or tilting of fences, retaining walls, utility poles or trees, loose hanging rock on limestone cliffs. Pbrc project is intended to not only allow for better geohazard management and mitigation, but more importantly, to create and instill a sustainable disaster resilience culture within local communities. At the local and community level, the hazard and risk maps derived from the Pbrc project are crucial for educating and providing clear information to the local community about disasters, including disaster types, levels of hazards, and associated risks. Distributing information to the local community on the range of possible damage and disaster prevention measures. Planning and guiding a more appropriate training module on disaster prevention to the local community prior, during, and after disasters. Establishing a community-based early warning and evacuation system, as well as a regulation system for local land use activities.
Pbrc basically provides the necessary data to allow us within the local government agencies to manage slopes more effectively, particularly in helping us to plan critical slope repair and mitigation works.
I feel what Pbrc does best is empowering us within the communities. Not only does PBRC allow the communities to gear themselves in preparing and proactively responding to these disasters, but more importantly, PBRC gives us the avenue to participate, share experiences, and eventually build resilience within ourselves as part of the disaster risk reduction or DRR process.
The PBRC project, arming these stakeholders with accurate and accessible data, informed decisions, strategies, and action plans can be formulated and applied. This is the very essence of enabling and fostering a disaster-resilient society, with the aim of establishing efficient disaster management practices.